Goedemiddag, welkom op onze persconferentie. Ik geef graag eerst het woord aan de bezoekende coach voor zijn analyse van de wedstrijd. Can I have your view on today's game, please?
Hello everybody. Well, first of all, pleased we came back at the end. I think first half in many ways progressed like we hoped. I think we had a good part of the possession, came out quite well from our build-up in phase one, but we couldn't really create enough chances. We didn't produce enough on the last third. I think our quality in the areas on the last third of the pitch was not what we hoped for today, which meant that there was a lot of ball carrying and possession, but not enough chances. I'm really pleased that after a good spell from Brugge in the second half, where they dominated the game and also got the goal, I'm really pleased with the team's mentality and how we came out for the last 20 minutes and fought our way back and got a good point against a team who's done very well this season here at their home stadium. Also in Champions League, beating out top clubs like Atletico Madrid and Leverkusen. So to come here for us, just started a new project and getting a point is something that I'm pleased with for the boys. And again, like I said, the mentality we showed for the last 20-25 minutes after conceding the goal was very pleasing for me.
Thank you very much, Coach. Your view, please.
I think firstly, obviously disappointed for the fans and disappointed for the players. Really, I think on the scale of it, really as a coach, the first priority is you want to try and reduce the opposition to creating many chances. I don't think that Anderlecht today have created many chances against us, so that was a box well ticked. I thought we was a well organised team in the sense of not giving up opportunities on our goal against a good side. And then on the flip side is trying to create very good chances to score goals. And again, that was a box tick that we managed to create numerous chances, 17 shots and 8 on target. And the fine margins are that today we wasn't clinical enough in key areas really. So big chances what fell for us. The last bit we wasn't able to execute, and the game could have been very different. So disappointed obviously with a draw. Overall, some things that obviously I really liked about us in terms of certainly the goal we scored was work and evidence of work we've been doing. And then other things what we wasn't. I thought when we scored the goal, from that point on, and credit to Anderlecht, but we lacked our intensity and we didn't follow on in terms of how we went from that. So I'm learning about the team. I understand the team. I think at that moment of 1-0, it seemed like we was desperate to hold on to a result and invited a little bit of pressure. We can never be that team really. We need to stick to process and stick to what got us to that point really. So overall disappointed, but again, like I said, it was I think when you're being rational and the emotions come out of it, which I need to be, I can't afford to do that. Certainly some really good things.
Thank you very much. Zijn er vragen? Questions?
Brian, you took 4 points as a coach of Anderlecht, 2 times because of an own goal. Is that a concern that you don't score you don't create enough chances, maybe scoring not enough? And can Anders Dreyer resolve that problem?
Yeah. So first of all, we are very pleased with that signing. I know Anders very well from his time both in Denmark, but also from his 2 adventures abroad. He's a very clinical player who normally always produces goals and assists. So he's definitely a player we believe can come in and help us with that small issue. I think you also need to take things into consideration when you look at these numbers, as you say here, because we've played some pretty difficult. I mean, we've played Genk away from home, and we have played now Club Brugge away from home, which is probably 2 of the most difficult games you can play here in Belgium. So of course you create less chances in these games than you will do probably against other teams. But it is something we are aware of, and it's something that we work on, because like I said in my intro, you can have a lot of possession, but if you don't create enough, it's not really worth anything, and that is absolutely not our way of wanting to do things. Just keep the ball is not an option for us, or success criteria, you could say. So for us, it's about getting the structure of the squad completed, but also about making sure that we keep working on the efficiency.
Ryan, you didn't have a shot on target today. Is that worrying? And yes, how about the creativity? Because you didn't have much in the midfield, many players that could create something.
Yeah. No, I think it was a little bit the same answer as I just gave to the other question. I think we did quite well to come out of their first pressure. I think we managed to get past the first pressure quite well. And then from there on, our quality to make ourselves dangerous on the last third was not what we had hoped for today. So that is definitely something that we would like to work on. But again, like I said before, also it's a quite difficult place to come here and play. And if you expect to come here and create 10 big goal scoring chances, that's probably not going to be the case. So. Yeah, it's something we have focus on, but also something we take with quite peace in our mind.
David.
Hi, Coach. What did you think about the game of Herbekijk? I saw you try to cheer him up a bit after he went off the pitch.
I think overall I see a player that probably lacking a little tiny bit in confidence. And again, he's probably the scars which he's faced over the start of the season. I see one of the most honest, heartfelt performances from someone who literally sweated blood and gave absolutely everything. In the key moments, Roman will probably be disappointed today, of course. But I'll always forgive a player that works tirelessly, keeps coming back, keeps dragging himself off the canvas in them moments. And look, at this moment, or certainly today, they didn't quite go in. And like I said, you'll be the first to understand that, because there were some big chances there. But overall, I was pleased with his endeavour. I was pleased with his general play, to be quite honest with you. And the fine margins, like I always say, with us, Roman could be sitting on 2 goals today, and we'll all be saying how great he is, and is it turned a corner, and this is this and that. The fine margins are that isn't the case. But again, me sitting here as a coach, I need to look at things in a certain way. And overall, I was pleased with what I see. One being the commitment he showed to the team and what he gave us, really.
Brian, the game before, we see a Anderlecht with a very good pressing, in Genk also. But here in Brugge, it was very, very difficult to make this. Why? Because Brugge, or because Anderlecht was less good at the press?
No, I mean, credit to Brugge. For me, we played against a strong football team again. I've said that a few times now, and I think it's important to remember that this team is going to play in the Champions League final stages now. So we were up against the top opponent here. We are early in our project, which is something that we need to be aware of course. And our strategy is we want to come out with intensity and high pressing. In moments we succeeded with that today. We would have liked to done it even more. But I think in spells of especially second half, Brugge got us locked quite well in on our last third, and it was difficult for us to really come out and create that moment. So. Of course, also to play here against 27,000 people and not having one person supporting us except our board members is also something for the players, which is probably not that easy. So there is a lot of things that probably is to take into consideration when you look at that.
David.
Coach, you brought in you brought in 3 players at the same time in the end of the game. Did you think about bringing them earlier?
Well, the way the game panned out and the emotion of the game in that sense, obviously was thinking about making some substitutions. I think then Anderlecht scored, so that changes the process a little bit more. Also have to factor in that a lot of players were seeming to go down with cramp, and in that moment only had one more substitution to make, so didn't want to jump in on something and leave ourselves short, or someone would go down injured. So these are the balances that you have to make constantly as a coach, really. So in the end, it was them boys what came on ended up 5 or 6, 7 minutes. But the way the game goes, sometimes there's a lot of things as a coach you have to take in consideration. And of course, in hindsight, in certain moments, if someone doesn't go down or someone doesn't come off, certain situations or certain decisions can look that you should have done it earlier or you shouldn't. The facts are, in the heat of the moment in the game, you haven't got hindsight. You have to make decisions and calls on certain things, how you see them, and you have to try and weigh up all the scenarios that you may face moving forward, really. So, I think probably that's where it was.
Coach, hi. Can you explain, after Anderlecht scored, the team didn't seem to have a reaction? Is it something psychological?
Yeah, I think it could be. I didn't like us after we scored, for sure, and probably learnt a lot. Like I'm learning constantly, been in here now for 10 days, so learning a lot regarding the team. And certainly when we scored, I didn't feel that we had a killer instinct in us to, stick to exactly what we done. Because we came out second half, after adjusting certain things at half-time, we came out second half and was really dominant, and the goal was literally coming. We scored the goal. And then I just felt that maybe psychologically a little bit, maybe we were just desperate then to hold on to a result and win the game 1-0. But at that moment, I never want us to be that team, really. So I want us to have conviction about us. And certainly how well we was playing, we needed to carry on like that. Credit to Anderlecht as well in that sense. But like I said, and I've said this to the team, this club's got big expectation. It's got a big expectation, and I've been at many clubs in my career what have massive expectation. And what comes with expectation is a certain mentality. And that mentality, I'm 42 years of age, like I said, with some scars, and I've probably been hardened to that a little bit more than some of these young players, what I'm playing with, or coaching, and the crowd and the environment of what we're in. But this is part and parcel of being at a top club. And we have to control that, and we have to keep believing in certain things, rather than probably at that point our whole intensity just dropped a little bit, and we let Anderlecht start to cause us some problems. And okay, the goal is a freak goal, but yeah, that's the way it is, really. So these are all learning bits for me and things to work on.
Coach, just the numbers, you were 12 points behind when you came here, now it's 17. Do you still see any reasons to believe in that title? Or
I'm not really thinking about that at the moment. I'm just I want to get this team as quick as I can to a level where I know we can consistently win football matches. I came in here, like you said, with a big deficit at Genk. Well, I'd love to have come in and clicked my fingers and everything change. That's not really the way it normally happens, really. And this is what's happened probably over the last 10, 15 games, and I'm seeing evidence of that for sure. So now it's down to hard work and me to work with this team and to get the best out of this team. And like I said, the whole game today, I was extremely happy. And no disrespect to Anderlecht, because I thought Brian's probably sitting in the same position as me at this present moment in time in terms of just walking into the club. But you play that game 10 times, you're on the right side of the result. And again, everyone's saying now, great we were, probably not looking at how far it is and not looking at the things we need to work on. And this is the roller coaster of the world we're in, really. My job is to be rational. My job is to understand where we definitely need to improve, understand where today we've done very well, and get the balance right, really.
Last question.
Mr. Wimmer, you don't take Rafaelov in the team. It's injury or it's a sport reason?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he picked up an injury during the training sessions this week. And wasn't available for selection together with Benito. Like Scott just said, we all know that we are in a project, and we're trying to make that better every day, and I think with these two injuries, we had to make quick changes the last couple of days before kick-off, and what I was really pleased to see was the reaction of the team, like I said, and also the analysis of Scott, like say the last 20 minutes, to see that mentality for us, because that was some of the things I worked on when I started a month ago. That we kept believing, kept pushing forward. So even though we struggled in that period and we came behind 1-0, I saw a team that believed for the last 20 minutes, and also a team that physically showed that they actually had the extra push, which is actually the first time I've seen this since my arrival here in Belgium for Anderlecht. So I definitely see a lot of good signs, and despite the fact that we had to do the changes, there was many positives.
Okay, dank u wel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.